expand or work to overturn the act?
Here's my belief on what the law should be. And as you know, there's quite a bit of controversy as to what the law really does say. It was interesting, I called a member of the Senate after this issue came to my attention. NDAA is the National Defense Authorization Act, which is an annual authorization act that's produced in Congress. And in this case, there was an amendment, I think it's called the Levin Amendment, that was put in place that codified how we are to treat enemy combatants in this country. And when I heard about it, I was told that this provision would strip American citizens of their right to habeas corpus petitions and the ability to go to a federal court if they were held as an enemy combatant, someone who had taken arms up against the United States. And so when I heard that, my immediate reaction was, well, that's a very bad idea. Every citizen should have that right, irrespective of what their conduct is. That's part of the rights of being a citizen. I do agree that if you are not a citizen of this country and you are picked up in armed insurrection or trying to destroy this country, that you can in fact be detained and be detained indefinitely without the right to a lawyer or to a habeas corpus petition. And I would detain them and get them. That's my position. Now, I don't think most people have, a lot of people have a problem with that, but I don't think that's what's causing the big issue now. What folks are concerned about is whether the codification of the existing law, statutory, not statutory, but case law, which is that if you are picked up as a United States citizen and held, you can't be held indefinitely unless you are given habeas corpus rights, the right to a lawyer, and to go before a federal judge and have that hearing and a determination by a judge based on the preponderance of the evidence that you were in fact did do those things, and that you could then be detained only for the length of the conflict. And in this case, this can be a little touchy because the conflict is more uncertain than such World War II or Korea, where there's a cessation of violence in a specific location. So the answer, what I was told, because I called somebody and I said, you know, the person happened to vote against the bill, and I said, why did you do that? And the answer that I got was, well, what you say the bill does, which is a codification of existing law, it does. The problem is that he didn't believe we needed to do that the law was already in place to be a case law, and why were we just doing this? All we were doing was stirring up a hornet's nest of people thinking that we were actually restricting people's constitutional rights. Here's how I would enforce the NDAA and make sure that, as president, we would make it clear from a statutory perspective, if it's necessary, that if you're a citizen and you are detained because you are suspected of terrorist activities against the United States of America, that you will have a right to a lawyer. That lawyer will be able to petition a federal judge. That judge will hear that case and be able to decide, based on the preponderance of evidence, whether that person should be continued to detain, and you would still have the right to have those appeals and to go through that process. That's the way it should be, and that's what I would enforce.